Today I'm a part of a video hop celebrating 10,000 subscribers for Multiplicity Crafts. Hello, it's Kari from sunshineinmypocket.com, and I've got some really fun interactive birthday cards for you today. Don't forget, this is a hop and it is generated by the hashtag, so be sure to read all of the details in the description below for that hop and the prizes you can win. I'm starting out with this really cool die set from Honeybee Stamps, and I've cut out all of those cake layers and the shaped cake card itself. I just used some white cardstock, and I'm going to be coloring this up with some beautiful rainbow colors. I'm using distress inks here in a variety of shades with some pink, orange, yellow, green, and blue. So this green here is the mowed lawn, and the blue is the peacock feathers. I will list everything down below if you're interested in those colors as well. But I'm using also this silicone mat. This is from scrapbook.com, and I find it's really great for inking on color. For the shaped cake card itself, I'm using a little Heffy tape to cover up that back part of the cake, and I'm going to ink on some antique linen distress ink to give it kind of a vanilla frosting look. It's kind of a caramely, vanilla-y color, and I thought that would work perfect for what we're trying to do. Now this stamp set goes right along with it, and they have lots of different layers you can use. I love the polka dotted one. It looks like cake to me, like the crumbles in the cake. And for the top, I'm going to use this topper here to stamp this down. I've got this on my Misty sticky mat, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it down with that same antique linen color. And by stamping it multiple times, it looks like a caramel drizzle to me. Oh goodness, this cake is just looking better and better. So I'm going to stamp that a number of times to build up that color. And look at this, as I bend this back, I can remove that easily. And now I can stick down each of those layers to stamp on those little crumble pieces. I'm using the exact same color as the color behind it, so it looks like that cake layer. So this one here is the mustard seed, and I'll go through all of the colors that we inked on already and stamp it down, making sure to clean the stamp in between each color so we don't get any transference of colors. There's that beautiful orange. And then I'll just go through and do all of them. See this? Now I can go ahead and put them on the base. And one thing I love about this die set is it does create a scored line, so you know exactly where those layers go and they fit perfectly. Now here's the part that's the interactive part. I'm going to use this die from My Favorite Things. And this is what's going to create the house for the little gift that we're going to include in this card. This is the interactive part. So I cut that out, and now I'm going to use one of these little holders for chapstick, and that's what's going to be the gift. Before I add that though, I wanted to be sure to stamp down the happy birthday. So I'll put it once again back in the Misty and arrange that. I'm going to stamp that down with some black ink, and I will heat emboss that so that I don't smear it. So I'm using some clear embossing powder over that black ink, and I'll just heat that up, and that will create a little raised look to it as well. There we go. For the top, I thought these little pieces that came in the die set would be perfect. They look like little whipped cream or little frosting swirls. So I'm just going to add some shading with some cool gray markers. That's going to make it look even more white with that shading. So I'll blend that through, and then I'm going to put that on the top of the cake using some foam tape to give it a little dimension. So here we go. We've got this almost ready to go. I am waiting for the chapstick to come in the mail. I got some birthday cake chapstick. It's really cool. So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and make the strawberry cake. I've already inked up the layers with some picked raspberry ink, and now I'm going to go ahead and use this beautiful glitter embossing powder, and that's going to create these beautiful glitter lines in our cake. Now to do this one, I wanted it to look more like frosting. So I'm taking a little embossing paste and that picked raspberry ink, and I'm going to mix it together to look like a strawberry frosting. I put that embossing paste down on my silicone mat and a little bit of that ink, and now I'm going to mix it together to get a nice soft strawberry frosting pink. So look at this, it's very easy to mix on a silicone mat. I thought it might be tricky, but it actually is just fine. Normally I would use my craft mat, but since I already had this one out with that color on it, I thought I'd just give it a try. So now I'm going to frost the top of the cake kind of thick to look like a real birthday cake frosting. And the rest of it I'm going to frost pretty thin. That's still going to give it the birthday cake frosting look, but it's just going to be the frosting between the layers, and I wanted it pretty thin so I could add those layers right to the top and it wouldn't be too bulky. So the frosting look is mostly for the top and the sides, and the rest I did a little bit smoother. You can see right here. And I'm going to set that aside to dry for a bit while I clean up this mat. It was pretty easy to clean. And then I'm going to add the layers that we embossed with that glitter embossing powder. And now I'm going to add a little frame around the chapstick. Look here, I got my birthday cake chapstick. There it is. So just adding some liquid adhesive around that frame and attaching that down, and I've already cut out and colored some fruit to go on top. So I've got strawberries, raspberries, and blueberries, and a few little leaves, and I'll just glue that down with some liquid adhesive as well. I am going to put an acrylic block over the top to help this to really settle in and stick to that frosting. By the way, the frosting was completely dry by this time. And now to attach the holder for the chapstick, I am putting some strong score tape along the front. I'll remove that little backer there, and then we can stick that right to the inside of this front panel, just like this. And that score tape is going to really hold it on. And look here, look how cute this chapstick looks right inside. Now for the back, I did get a little of that embossing paste on the back, but that's okay because we're going to cover that up with some pattern paper. So I chose some that was a little bit pink and gray. It kind of reminds me of the strawberries. And before I attach that, I'm kind of making an indentation with my fingernail so I know where the bottom of that opening is. I'm going to use this stamp set here to stamp open here on there so they know what to do. And now I'm going to tape down that die cut once again, and I'm going to partially cut that so it creates a little flap. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to line it up so that it does not cover the top portion, so it doesn't cut out that entire panel. Instead, it just cuts out that little flap, and they can lift that all the way up to get their chapstick out. To make sure I don't glue down that flap, I am just going around the outside and the sides of the flap, and that way they will still be able to open that up and get out their chapstick. And that's just the cutest little interactive birthday card with a gift. I think it's so cute. Isn't that fun? For this one, I'm going to use the piece that we cut out so that when you open that and take out the chapstick, you'll still have the layers. And for this one, I'm doing a little different idea. I'm just cutting out some tissue paper, and this is see-through so they'll know, and it's also very easy to rip open, so they'll be able to get that chapstick out really easily. And all I'm going to do is just cut a piece and glue it down. You can use any color you want. I just happen to have this hot pink right nearby, so I'm using that for this cake today. And I'll just tape that down quite simply, and then they'll be able to get that chapstick really easily. Now I also made a chocolate cake off screen, but I'm going to show you all the cakes we made today. Here's our rainbow cake, and then of course the strawberry cake with that frosting. I think that looks so good, so yummy. And that one I did the frame around that chapstick and the fruit on top that we colored up with Copics. And then of course it's got the flap on the inside, very easy to open. I'm not going to open that all the way, but look at that beautiful glitter inside. And here's the chocolate one I did. I colored this one up with Copic markers, added some dots to the inside to make it look like vanilla cake with chocolate frosting. And then I added the candle from that same die set and a cookie that I cut in half. So I used half on the inside and half on the outside. So when you open it up, you also see the chocolate frosting, the chocolate chip cookie, and the candle. So I did it double-sided, and then I had a happy birthday die that I cut out of silver paper, and that's what I added to the front of that one. So these are super fun. I hope you enjoyed these cards today. A big shout out to all our sponsors for the giveaway, and congratulations to my friend Miranda who reached 10,000 followers. Be sure to follow the hashtag and all the instructions that are linked below so that you can enter to win one of these great prizes. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really enjoyed this project today. I hope you did too. I'd appreciate any thumbs up, likes, comments, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, I'd enjoy that too so you don't miss a thing. Thanks so much again for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.